Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is day 21 of me doing 100 YouTube videos and making a gratitude list in a row. So 100 days to, well, not 100 days to go. That means I have 79 days to go because this is day 21. Yay! I'm amazed I can even remember what day it is. I'm pretty sure as it gets further along, it's going to be harder to remember the day. Maybe not. Maybe because I'm keeping track every day. I don't know. But 21 days, that's 3 weeks. This is good. this is this is a good thing. Um, so I still nervous when I do these. I wish that I wasn't nervous when I did these, and I'm still having days where I'm like, I don't really want to do this. And I made my to-do list today, and I forgot to make a YouTube video on my to-do list today. And then I was like, oh yeah, how did I forget that? I think I have a mental block that's telling me I don't want to do this. And I've been praying to try to have those mental blocks removed so that I can finish my book and figure out what's stopping me from finishing my book, because I'm so close to finishing. And I have a friend that's been reading it, and he's telling me how great my book is, and he can't imagine my changing it. And I'm like, okay, it's thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence because I don't feel like it's quite that good, but hey, I'll take it. I think that means that it'll be a good book that people will like to read. And it's just, to me, when I started the book, I thought it was going to be a short 10-chapter book, and it's just supposed to kind of introduce my kingdom that I've created and the different powers in the kingdom and things like that, and all through the eyes of a little orphan girl. So that's kind of a summary of my book I'm not quite finished writing. And so I was thinking about it today as to why I don't want to finish my book. And it occurs to me that if I finish this book, that means I have to write the other books that I have in my series, which you would think would be a really good thing because I have a ton of story ideas in my head, and I want to finish a book. I want to have that sense of accomplishment, like, hey, I did this. I'm curious to see how many people will read my book, if they will share it, and all of those things. I think it would be really cool to see that. So I'm just, curious to see my success, I guess, kind of worldly success as well as personal success, just feeling like I accomplished something, and knowing that once I figure out how to get one book published, it should be easier to publish the rest of them, which scares me immensely because I do realize that it means I have to face other things in my life. Because a lot of the stories that I've created in my head, I've been creating in my head for years. It's been my daydreaming. It's been my safe place. It's been my escape from my reality. So when I don't know how to deal with reality, I make up a story in my head. If I don't have the courage or can't think of the words to say in a conversation, because when people yell at me or I get confused, my brain just shuts down. It just does. And I just, like a zombie, just staring off into space, like I have no idea the words are going in and I'm not comprehending anything. And then, hours later, days later, it will start to sink in what people said or what happened. And then I'll be like, oh man, I should have said this. I could have said that. I should have stood up for myself. Or I should have been like, what are they yelling at me for? I didn't do anything. So instead, I create characters in my head, scenarios that are, similar or maybe hugely exaggerated to the one that I had to make it more entertaining for myself in my head. But it allows me a safe place to express what I didn't get to express in a conversation. And it allows me to create these stories, these ideas. It allows me to vent. But the other thing that it does that I'm learning is it also helps me or keeps me stuck, I guess, in those situations, because I can replay those scenarios. I can pick up those characters and put them in any scenario. But it doesn't teach me how to communicate with other people, which is something I'm having to learn how to do. And it doesn't mean that I've let go of any of those things. So I realize I haven't let go of a lot of those things, and I need to let go of them because holding on to them, I think, is detrimental to my health, emotional and physical, because I think our physical health manifests what our emotional health is not processing. So if we don't deal with the emotional and the mental stuff, then our body manifests it physically by ailments, my case, migraines, weight gain, asthma, all that stuff. It's not fun. I think our body just expresses itself in different ways because we're not paying attention to the other stuff. And I'm really good at holding on to things and not letting them go and not processing them. And I realized that writing is good for me. That's my process. I've been sharing that in these YouTube videos, and journaling has been helping me to see a lot of things. But when I write out my stories, I have to feel those emotions again. It means that I have to put myself in that situation, and then I have to feel those emotions and then process those emotions. And those are all good things. It's very therapeutic. So writing for me is very therapeutic. And then I get to share all of the amazing stories that I've created in my head with the rest of the world. Well, I'm like, this is my therapy, and then you guys all get to read something you find entertaining. I hope that you would find entertaining anyway. But I have this aversion to doing therapy. I just don't like feeling feelings, I just grew up in an environment where it wasn't safe to express feelings, or I just wasn't taught how to understand my feelings, how to process my feelings. I just didn't know what to do with my feelings. And I realized, as an adult looking back, that perhaps my parents at the time didn't understand how to deal with their own feelings, didn't understand how to process what was happening in the situation. So if they couldn't handle it themselves, they weren't able to help me either, which, I can see that as an adult now, and I can have compassion for them and understand that they did the best that they could. So I'm grateful that I can see that I can put myself in their shoes, that I can have some compassion, that I can try to forgive and let go. But it also means that I am in a situation now where I have to learn how to express my feelings. I have to learn how to communicate in a healthy way. And I have to learn how to process emotions, and I have to let myself feel emotions and feelings. And I always thought that they were like bad, like crying is bad, being upset is bad, having those, getting angry is bad. And I've heard that feelings aren't bad, they're just feelings, and feelings aren't facts, they're just feelings. They're things we need to feel and process. They're there to help us figure out a situation, what's going on, and then try to help us to learn how to respond to those feelings. So like grief and sadness, it's like, okay, we've lost someone and we're feeling a loss. This is a sad thing. We need to talk about this person. We need to process the loss. We need to understand that they're not going to be in our lives anymore. It's okay to cry, because those tears, they release hormones and other things into our body that are good for us. I don't think hormones is the right word, but they release something into our system. They let stuff out of our system that allows us to heal, that allows us to, continue with our lives. So it's good to process that, it's what makes us human. It's a good thing, but I hate crying. So I don't like feeling my feelings, and I get frustrated when old feelings come up and they mess with my daily life, because like, hey, my daily life is good. I'm having a good day, but why do I feel so crappy? Oh yeah, because there's something from the past that I just haven't dealt with, and it's rearing its ugly head again. And then I just try to bury it. And I think that's why my depression gets as bad as it does, because that's just holding on to all of that, and it's heavy, and it's not a good thing to hold on to it. So I know that, and I'm trying to let go of that. And I think God knows that, and that's why he's having me do these videos. That's why he's getting me to journal. That's why he got my friend to talk to me about making gratitude lists, so I could start seeing the positive and seeing all the good things I have in my life, and seeing all the good things that I have to look forward to in my life, like finishing a book, becoming a published author, like doing 100 YouTube videos, like actually accomplishing things in my life, and seeing that I'm capable of doing all these things, that I don't have to continue to disappoint myself and let myself down. I don't have to prove that my life is miserable and horrible and that I've, been the worst. This is not a competition to see how lousy my life is. I grew up thinking that way for some reason. I don't know, that, if I'm miserable enough, I can prove to people. It's that whole misery likes company thing, or I have to be the most miserable. Or if other people think that I'm okay, I have to prove that I'm not, because they don't believe me. And I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. I know how I feel. I know if I'm okay or not. And maybe I'm more okay than I realize. I'm just been stuck focusing on all of the negative things, or the things that I didn't like happening, and refusing to process, refusing to let go, like somehow holding on to my past. I could fix it somehow, and I can't fix it. I can't change it. I can't undo anything that's been done. And I can't predict the future as much as I would like to. I can imagine a different future, and I can imagine a whole bunch of stories, which is why I have a whole bunch of story ideas to write. And I love that I can see myself smiling when I talk about my stories and writing. So it reminds me that this is something I enjoy doing, and this is a good thing. It's a gift that I have been given, and I just need to use it. And it is a way to do my own self therapy by working through these books and writing. And it's fun. I like writing and I like telling the stories. And yes, sometimes what happens to my characters is sad and it's tragic. Some of it's traumatic, probably, because I've had sad, tragic, traumatic things happen in my life. So, and I think that people find that interesting. If I just write the mundane day to day stuff that people do, that's kind of boring. That's, sometimes I write in my journals and I feel like my life is mundane and boring because it's the everyday, day to day stuff that I have to do. So another reason why I daydream, because my life is boring, so I can create something more entertaining in my head. It's very entertaining in my head, but like I was saying, it's therapeutic for me, and I need to do the therapy. I need to do the writing, and I'm just sharing my little epiphanies and ideas that God is giving me, and hopefully in understanding what my aversions are to writing, it will help me to finish doing my writing, because if it's just avoiding my emotions, I'm very good at that. But I know that if I face them, feel them, I can let them go, and I'm just having to learn to trust that it's okay to let go. I know that, like I've told my friends before, and I've heard in program before, it's like you let go, and then when you let go of the old stuff and the bad stuff, you make room for the new stuff and for better stuff and for good things. And I want better things and good things in my life. So it really is time for me to start letting go of the past and the bad things. And not everything in my past was bad. It's just that I focus on the things that didn't go my way. And even now I plan out my day, and when it doesn't go my way, I get discouraged over the little thing that didn't go my way, and it's like my whole day is ruined because one thing didn't turn out the way that I wanted it. And I have to remind myself I am not God and I cannot predict the future. I can plan for it, but life is all about how you handle plan B or C or D or whatever else, because plan A doesn't work. And I don't remember that author that wrote that book of Mice and Men, but there's that quote that I always remember: the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. So it doesn't matter how well we plan things, it probably won't go according to plan A. So I know my day is not going to go however I think that it will, but I'm sure that it will work out the way that God has planned for me. And I just have to trust that and let go of trying to be in control, and let go of holding on to things that I don't have control over. So this is a process for me. This is more of, again, just an awareness. I think I've mentioned in previous videos, awareness, acceptance, action. So becoming aware of why I'm holding myself back and what my little blocks are in my life. And then hopefully I will get to where I can accept that and then be willing to take some action to move forward with that. So that is my goal. That is what I am trying to work through, so that I can finish my books, so that I can share them and share my talents that God has given me with the rest of the world, and at least feel good about myself because I'm using it to benefit myself and hopefully in the end benefit other people as well. And again, not sure how many people will ever actually read my books, but I can at least have the fun of writing them, and I can at least go through the therapeutic process of writing them and get that healing and just feel like a better, happier person, which is really what I want to do. And I hope that if any of you have things you're holding on to, that you're willing to pray that God will help you let them go and find some way or outlet to let them go. I don't know, whether it's exercise, whether it's writing, whether it's speech, giving talks, whether it's playing music, whatever it is. Everyone has an outlet. So I hope you find your gift and your outlet, your talent that you can share with the world that will be therapeutic and helpful to you as well. And if you like these videos, just go ahead and like, subscribe, or share if you want to. And that's all I have for today. Thank you.